What's up, guys? So since I haven't done a review in a long time, I really wanted to do a review of a game that I just recently beat, and I started playing this game not long ago. I actually just beat it maybe in 4 days, which is kind of weird for me because I don't tend to beat games pretty fast. This game wasn't that long, but still, there was a reason why I beat it so fast. Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Like all my reviews, this will be spoiler free. For those of you that haven't played the game, I'm not gonna ruin it because it could be ruined pretty easily. Like, oh, hell no. So it's pretty much a post-apocalyptic world that's been taken over by nature. So it's a very green game instead of your wasteland. I mean, there is like wasteland areas, but it's more taken over by nature. It takes place 150 years from now. It was released in 2010. A lot of people compare it to The Last of Us, the game that's going to be released for the PS3 next year. And I am looking forward to that game like crazy. I really, really want to play that game. So when a lot of people were saying, oh, it's kind of like Enslaved, The Last of Us, I was like, really? And yeah, I could see so many similarities with what we've seen for The Last of Us. So I really think that the developers of Last of Us, Naughty Dog, are fans of Enslaved. You could really tell that they really liked what was done with Enslaved because of just the direction that Last of Us seems to be going. And also from interviews by Naughty Dog, with what they say that they are focusing on in the game, it really connects with Enslaved, and it just really looks like that's the route that they really want to go through, which is really exciting because I think Enslaved did a great job at envisioning a post-apocalyptic world and sharing it with somebody, like where you have two characters. It's an action adventure platformer, third person, and it's what a lot of people would call an escorting mission. I know a lot of people don't really like escorting missions. I'm not too big of a fan as well, because not only do you have to worry about your survival, but also the person that you're escorting. A lot of times this does present a challenge, but it could get kind of tedious. With Enslaved, I think they really did it. They did it in a very good way, because it's not just like you're dragging this person around. It's more like you're forming a relationship with this person. I didn't know this, but this story is actually based off of, or it's more like a reimagining of an ancient Chinese story that's called Journey to the West. This novel is actually considered to be one of China's 4 great classic novels. So kind of makes me want to read it, especially after playing this game. Humans are pretty much gone. You're one of the few survivors, along with the person that you're with. Her name is Trip. Your name is Monkey. It starts off with you in this huge flying ship, that carries slaves. The conflict or the enemy in this game are mechs. The game was written by Alex Garland. He wrote 28 Days Later. One of my favorite things of this game, and a lot of people have said this as well, is that the voice actor for Monkey, which is the guy, sorry about the glare, him, the voice actor and also motion capture, he did the motion capture, is Andy Serkis. For those of you who don't know who Andy Serkis is, get out of my face. No, for those of you that don't know who Andy Serkis is, he is the voice and motion capture for Gollum in The Lord of the Rings. So he's just one of my favorite people on this earth. He's so cool. I love this guy. And he does the voice and motion capture for Monkey, which he does an amazing job at. I mean, Monkey is so well represented by Andy Serkis that it's just, you just love to play the game just to see the things that he does and the things that he says and just the interactions. Like, that's what really makes you want to play the game, is to know more. And like, I was so hooked. That's why I beat it so fast. I didn't even mention the developers. This game was developed by Ninja Theory, and it was published by Namco Bandai. What the developers wanted to do was to kind of take this genre, the post-apocalyptic genre, and focus more on emotionally engaging characters. So not so much like the environment and like, oh my god, you're gonna get killed by mechs or something like that. Nah, not that. I mean, that is a big part of the game, but what they really focused on was the character development and the connection between the characters. And they always do this the way where it's like the odd pairing. You get Monkey, who is he's very he's called Monkey because he pretty much has like before I knew his name, because you don't know his name until later. Before I knew his name, I was like, this guy he looks and he moves like a monkey. He's just been like out in the wild for a long time. I mean, it's been a post-apocalyptic world for a while now. So that's pretty much all he knows is just trying to survive out in the wild. And so he's learned. He's kind of like your Tarzan, your post-apocalyptic Tarzan kind of. But he could talk and all that. He's not like ooga booga. His personality is like I don't give a damn. Don't mess with me kind of guy. And Trip, the girl, it's mentioned that she's a teenager. She looks like she's older, like in her older teens, maybe like 18, 19, I think. She's like this tech and engineer master. She's like super good at tech and stuff like that, and hacking and all that. She's more socially oriented than Monkey is. Pretty much you leave enslavement, and then when you guys get together, you and Trip, you pretty much become enslaved again. A lot of things that are added to you after that are through this headband, and he pretty much has to do everything that she says, or else she's gonna cause him a lot of pain through the headband. If he leaves anywhere, if he leaves really far from Trip, he could die. If Trip dies, he dies. So he's pretty much connected to Trip and needs to do what Trip asks of him. So she pretty much needs to be escorted to her little community with her father by Monkey, because she's pretty much helpless on her own. She's like, I can't survive. And she needs Monkey's skills. He's not only like this expert climber and all that, he's also this expert fighter. Like he's got these really cool moves. There is a leveling up system. I mean, it's not like, oh, you're level 15 now, like an RPG. It's more like when you have enough, when you collect enough, I think they're called tech. They're like these little tech orbs. They're like these little orange things that you find everywhere, all over the place. You collect all those orbs, and as soon as you have enough, like say 50,000 or something like that, you could get an upgrade. So it's more like, upgrades that you get by using these orbs that you find. The staff is really cool because it not only could you use it as like this ninja dude, it also shoots like these plasma shots or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a cannon. It turns into a cannon. You could get two types of shots. One is to stun and the other one is to blow things up. So you guys know that I usually don't do rating systems. For this game, I'm going to do it just because it's not a popular game. Like, it was never a popular game, even back in 2010 when it was released. It's just mind-boggling with the quality of this game that it was so underrated, that it didn't do better than it should have. So I'm going to do the rating system just so that you guys could see how great of a game this is, at least, in my opinion. For the story, I give it a 10 out of 10. Characters, 10 out of 10. Writing, 10 out of 10. The graphics, I'm not huge on graphics, but I thought it was visually awesome. The environments just looked so cool. The facial animation, I mean, I've seen pictures of Andy Serkis with all the sometimes they only put like a dot here, a dot here, a dot here. The more dots they have on their face for motion capture, the better the expressions are going to be. He's got dots like pretty much all over his face. So the expressions on these characters they're freaking amazing. You could see the features of Andy Serkis on Monkey. So yeah, graphics, I say 10 out of 10. Music, 9 out of 10. I thought the music was really good. There wasn't that much music. Like, there, you could hear a lot of the music when it got really, upbeat. I think this was a cool thing about it. You could pretty much only hear the environment. You could hear the birds. You could hear different animals out in the distance. You could hear your footsteps. So it was more about the noises of the environment than it was for the music when you were just running around. And the gameplay, I'd say 9 out of 10, because, and this is including combat and the mechanics of the game. The only reason why I took a point off was because it could get a little bit repetitive. Since it's a platformer, it's pretty much like, okay, find your way across this, and you're climbing all over the place. Find your way across this, and on your way, you're gonna encounter some mechs. So find a way to get across without getting shot or without getting killed and take them out so that Trip could get through. They kind of made it a little more interesting where some of the mechs, sometimes, like Trip has this little sensor thingy. Sometimes a mech will have a malfunction in it, or sometimes a mech will self-destruct after it's killed. So you could take advantage of this, and you could see a little icon up on the top of the head of the mech that is either damaged or something like that. So they're easier to take out, and those are usually the ones that you want to go for first. So they do kind of provide that every now and then, so you could kind of strategize in the battlefield. So you're just like, okay, that mech could self-destruct when I take it out. I'm gonna go for that mech first. Before you kill it, you do this move, like this special move, and you hold it like a shield, and before it self-destructs, you throw it at one of the mechs, and then it kills the mech, it blows it up. So you could easily get rid of 1 or 2 mechs if you aim it right, by just doing that. So the fight would be over even faster. I'm not a big person on like repetitive combat, press A the whole time. This was fine. Like, I really loved the moves that Monkey did. He looked really cool doing them. And the combat system was really good, because that's why I left it at a 9, because I loved how easy the combat system was, because your staff could shoot and you could hit with it, melee with it, and you could interchange between melee and your blasting staff very easily. The controls were so smooth and fast. So yeah, all 9s and 10s. I'm kind of annoyed that I never played it, that I never knew about it until recently, but I am really glad that I did find out about it. So thank you to Scottish Warrior 92 and to all of you guys that recommended this game for me, because it was one of my most enjoyable games that I've ever played, and a lot of it had to do with the characters and the writing. One of my favorite things about it was that you could tell, not only in the cinematics, but during the gameplay, your characters change. The relationship that they both have, the interactions that they have, they change. And I won't say how, but that's one thing that I absolutely love, is that not only do you notice these things during the cinematics, but also throughout the gameplay in these like little tiny details that you didn't see or hear before, like when they first met. I don't tend to like platformers just because they could be very repetitive. But this was, like I said, the details really make this game stand out when it comes to being a platformer, and also the depth of story and character development, which really make this game shine the way that it does. You see? It shines. Yeah. I think the only things that I didn't like about that I would say, well, that was kind of annoying, were that it could be kind of repetitive when it comes to the combat. Like, I was expecting it sometimes. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get all the way over there, I'm gonna have to kill these mechs like I did last time, and then I'm gonna have to take Trip and like throw her up on this thing and whatever. Another thing that was kind of annoying to me, but I think this is all because of, this tends to happen with platformers, is the changing of the camera. Like, sometimes when you're say, like, you're gonna walk across a beam and then you're gonna jump up here and whatever, the camera changes, and then you're just like, I want to look over there. Like I want to look over there. I want to know what was over there. And you can't. You have to go back so that the camera could change back to the way it was. And it's just, it gets so disorienting for me, especially with my whole problem of like motion sickness and all that. It just gets to the point where sometimes it's moving, like it will move too much. When you're doing this fast, the camera will sometimes change every now and then, and you're just like, ugh, was I going that way or was I going this way because of the change of the camera? But that's just because of my disorienting thing. I don't tend to like that. So it was kind of annoying for me sometimes, so kind of frustrating. But I'm sure that it probably doesn't bother a lot of people, especially people that are used to playing platformers. I never thought of a bad thing. I mean, there was those little tiny frustrating things, but they're more, I think, more based on my opinion and more like my likes, and not so much a defect that the game had. I'm obviously not going to go into the ending, what happens and all that, but it is one of those games that kind of leave you thinking, a lot about what is right and what is wrong. So I definitely recommend this game. If you haven't played this game, please buy it. Pre-owned, I mean, I didn't have any problems with this pre-owned. I guess it all depends on your copy. I don't remember exactly, but I want to say it was maybe $13, $10 to $13. It was not expensive, especially for the quality of the game. It's available on PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's not that long. I think I beat it, I think maybe 10 hours. I don't know, but I beat it in like 4 days. I would consider this a diamond in the rough. And if Last of Us is going to be anywhere near the quality of Enslaved, which, and I'm talking about story and character development and that kind of thing, I really think Last of Us is going to be really, really good if they have this game in mind, which I think they do, because just because of the way that Naughty Dog is talking about what they want to achieve with Last of Us, it sounds a lot like Enslaved. I really want to play that game, and more so now that I've played Enslaved. So that was my review for Enslaved. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.